We would like to thank your sponsor, Valley First, a division of First West Credit Union and a member-owned financial cooperative serving the Okanagan, Similkameen, and Thompson regions. They offer a wide range of banking and investment services for individuals and families. Valley First also has a talented business and commercial team to provide the expertise, products, and services local businesses need to grow and thrive.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Business Matters, presented by Valley First, the division of First West Credit Union. My name is Rob Capello, and today we welcome Patricia Livingstone to Business Matters. Patricia, thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome, Rob.
So Patricia is the president of Flex Structure, offering flexible, durable, and sustainable building solutions for commercial, industrial, and residential projects. And first, I've heard of it, so I'm excited to kind of explore the journey and who you guys are and what you do. So I like to start, actually, Patricia, is just letting us know, what is Flex Structure? Who are you guys? What do you guys do? Give us the Coles notes of who you are.
Well, we're basically a research and development company in Kelowna.
Okay.
I feel a little bit like a fish swimming upstream because we don't use wood, but I live in BC now and for the last 20 years. But it's important that Darren Brown, who has been with me over 5 years, was with Club Penguin, and everyone knows him.
Yeah.
Smart guy, is a carpenter, but he's my media manager. So he set up the website. So please go to the website to find out more.
Love it.
We're B2B. Business plan is licensing it around the world. And that's why we got nominated. We're finalists for the Go Global, and I'm going to Rhode Island in November. Last year was in Estonia.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. So it's because, BC has the best building codes ever.
Right.
But like Darren said, it took 10 years for us to accept drywall. And that was 60 or 70 years ago. And so it might take us a little while to accept something other than drywall for living in. And we discovered through our R&D, through a lot of stuff, including COVID, where we had tested PVC extruded material, which is basically plastic. So when COVID happened, Darren quickly came up with a prototype, flex walls, that we sold to Interior Health and set up the Pandemic Assessment Center. But they're basically plastic, and my structural engineer determined that there was creep, and plastics is not good for my mandate, which was I wanted to build houses and factories like we build cars, but not because I used to be, I'm a chartered accountant. So anyway, I do pictures and So I'm not an engineer, but I hire engineers, and I master mechanical engineer Amon. He looked at my pictures and did the drawings, and we filed the patent, and I did all the work myself.
Wow.
And the patent got issued in April, and I talked to the USPTO directly, and so I have a patent for the building system. And so that's what Flex Structure is, trying to find a better way to build. And Darren has tried to explain that on her website. And I know tons of people would love to buy this to live in it, but our building codes are such that you have to have a building permit depending on the use. And you don't need a building permit if it's under 100 square feet. So that's why our prototype that we finished last year, the fellow from the airport came and said, I want that. So we delivered it to the airport December 1st, but everyone who looks at it thinks of a different use for this that's under 100 square feet. And he thought, this would be perfect for storing luggage in, because the Christmas before they had luggage. This Christmas was not so successful. And when we went to deliver it, there was still the scaffolding for, so it got put around the corner and wasn't used for that purpose, because Christmas didn't turn out the same as the year before because of, anyway, lots of reasons. And anyway, it's still at the airport. We've built another prototype, and we're located on Dilworth, and we moved there a day before COVID closed everything down.
Yeah, interesting.
But since we had a lot of this PVC plastic from Trustcore, because I
Right.
toured the MSW in Toronto, and in fact, the president called and said, "How come you aren't ordering more of these things?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, the good news is we don't have a COVID as bad as Ontario."
Yeah.
So that's why we don't need as many. And I did talk to the operator of the hospital in Vernon and Kelowna.
Yeah.
They would like to have a whole bunch of this, but they were empty because of COVID.
Right.
And, Interior Health did need walls, and we were able to help them out. And we sent some of the flex walls, the PVC, the plastic they even went down all the time for COVID,
Yeah.
to regional hospitals around BC.
Right.
Stopped doing that over a year ago because we got back to focus on what we set out to do. Yeah. So I want to show you. Okay.
Okay. That was my next question. So what does a wall look like and what is it made? Okay.
Because I said I can't carry a 4 foot by 8 foot panel. So you have to imagine this as a 4 foot by 8 foot. This is the outside of the building, the prototype. This is the inside. This is pultruded FRP. Our pultruder is in Gimli, and he throws some graphene. That's why it's gray, and that makes it strong. Think of graphite tennis rackets and bikes. They're in everything graphene except the farm. But this is as strong as steel, but weighs 70% less. Because I wouldn't be able to hold this.
Right.
So the beauty is the outside is secure, like the prototype at the airport. The inside, it's user friendly. So this is just an Allen wrench, 3/8 inch. So it's sort of like IKEA, but better. Because it's through yourself. We don't need heavy equipment.
Right. Yeah.
You can see on the website, I have my 2 master mechanical engineers, Gareth and Brock, carrying a panel, and they put it in. So they've set up the prototype in a couple hours, the walls.
Right. Interesting.
Because you can use a machine. It's sort of like do it yourself.
Yeah.
And so you take this little 3/8 inch bolt out. So it started really solid, right?
Right.
And you can use electric, like my guys.
Right.
And or you can use a hand one, like a little Allen wrench, and you pull the bolt out. Okay. It goes really fast with the
Yeah, that's right. You get a drill and off it comes.
Yeah. So it's a 3/8 inch bolt.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Interesting.
This, and you can see on the website, is anchored and it's FRP strong.
Right. Okay.
And you can put it down on top of any foundation, wood, cement. The one at the airport is on like a wood pallet, so you can pick it up with a forklift.
Right.
And ground with any kind of anchoring thing, depending on the wind loads for the location. And FYI, there's sand everywhere. I've been to Dubai. There's tons of sand. That's what fiberglass is made out of. Sand.
Interesting.
Not wood. Anyway, so then this
just sits in there and
Yeah. And it's a panel that we make with our patented frame.
Yeah.
So the panel has like a window frame. Think fiberglass window frames and doors. Way better than vinyl, because vinyl's plastic. It'll So this is our patented design, and it has channels in there for wicking away moisture and all that.
Got it.
Yeah. And this is the design, and it's pre-riveted so that it just sits on top.
Right.
Panels sit on top, and then you put it together. Done.
Interesting.
And then components as well. And so it's a whole system of basically connecting with rivets.
So I'm curious, Patricia, that's amazing. Like I could see so many applications for that, even at the smaller, the level you have to go to now, the square footage. But how did this idea come together? As you're telling me this, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, what were you doing where you're like, I need to do something different? Like, where did that happen?
It's a long story. I was selling real estate. Oh, okay. After I moved,
Right.
Anyway, moved back to Kelowna, to Canada from Houston, Texas, and I was always in oil and gas, Shell, Canada, and then I sold real estate. And then my son, who was in Australia at the time, my oldest son, he
Right.
called me, come back and help you sell real estate. So he came back in 2016. He's really good, smart dude,
Right.
very smart. And so 2016, he informed me that I'll never be a grandma and I'll never have children, because why would I bring a child into this world? Because it's going, and I'll never be able to afford a house. And he knew.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very expensive, and they're made anyway. So I knew I needed to come up with a better way to build. So I started my company in 2017. 2018, Scott moves to Germany. And so I was stuck with both real estate and the company, and I had to choose. So I chose my company and I walked away from real estate. I have a lot of clients, and anyway, I still refer a lot of people to other realtors, but I focus on being CEO and president of this company, Flex Structure. And the National Research Council agreed with me back in 2017, 2018. So they were funding. I had 6 employees before COVID happened, and they were helping fund some of the payroll because I had a polymer PhD engineer and all these. Because it's research and development is you try one way, you try another.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So when COVID happened, I sort of came and I drew a picture, and like I said, and so the engineers turned this into design, so
into reality.
Myself, and
Interesting. So what sort of structures are you seeing? Like, I mean, that are people using this for, given the limitations right now when it comes to code? Like, what are people building with it right now?
Okay, it's my business strategy is business to business.
Okay.
So if there is a manufacturer out there who wants to set up a very lucrative line of these together, my engineers know the way to make these panels. We have our pultruder in Winnipeg who pultrudes this stuff, which is a subsidiary of NanoExplore, which is the world's largest graphene powder producer. So it kind of works well because that's the beautiful stuff. But there are pultruders around the world.
Okay.
But we have the design. Okay, the dyes are not cheap, and they take a while. Dyes, but this is continuous pultrusion. They can do 1,000 linear feet in a day, or less, of the bottom and the different. So we have 4 dyes now. The system includes the roof system as well. Requires 2 more dyes, but a lot more money if you want the whole roof system. Right now, as you'll see on our website, this can hold a standard truss system.
Right. Okay.
And the insulation that we're using now since January is recycled plastic. This is recycled plastic right here.
Okay.
Extruded. And I'm going to go tour in November after I finish the Brampton factory. It was just north of the Toronto airport, which is owned by Armacell. Shout out to Armacell, and it's on our website. Because I'm Tavish, who got his undergrad in Kelowna and his graduate, Western. He lives in Montreal. So Cavish, I hooked up with him. And in October, when I went to ChemX, Composite and Advanced Material Expo in Anaheim in October, and it's this year in Atlanta. So I'm going to Atlanta because there's tons of companies from around the world, but all of their designs is about cars, planes.
Right.
And I talked to them and I said, did you know that less than 5% of the world's population will ever be able to afford to fly in an airplane?
Yeah.
Car, forget boats.
Yeah.
And less but yet 20% of the world lives in inadequate shelter.
Yeah.
They agreed with me, but apparently in the US, people have tried and tried because, so this building system is do it yourself. So you don't need heavy equipment. You don't need if you want to put in a wall, add another room, you just build on and order some more panels, and then you're off to the races. And it's secure from the outside, and it's a do-it-yourself from the inside. It's a manufacturing system that any manufacturer can make the panels, 1,000 square feet.
Right.
Another line. So that's my business model, is to license it to manufacturers that want to add another, very lucrative, gives them access to the construction industry for shelter. Rather than.
So Patricia, is there a cost savings? Can you speak a little bit? I'm curious, like, I mean, I'm thinking as you're talking, like, time is big, like you could probably construct that way faster than traditional, but what are some of the other benefits that I may be missing between the either cost and time?
Economies of scale, mass manufacturing hits.
Right.
And, like I said, per linear foot.
Right.
Corner, just for an example, if you only need 32 linear feet.
Right.
But it's half if you take 5,000 linear feet instead of 1,000 linear feet.
For sure.
Half the cost, because they can pull through this stuff really fast. And same with the riveting. Right now we have low volume capability.
Right.
Very low volume. But if you mass manufacture it and you automate the fabrication, drilling the holes, and the riveting, because right now we do it by hand, it will really have cost savings. So tons of cost savings, but it has to be mass manufactured. So to the consumer right now, no. But it's like anything else. You go where people can afford it. So our prototype at the airport, it might have cost us $100,000 or more.
Right.
Throwing everything. But for $50,000 or something, someone can buy it, but it's 100 square foot. You can go and get a Rubbermaid one.
Right. Yeah.
Rubber, plastic, and have a shed in your backyard that might last a couple of years after you. Yeah. So the consumer can access this now until economies of scale get the price down. And the first prototypes, and we've been approved by the federal government because we got the Accelerate Manufacturing Grant 2 years ago, $250,000, and that helped buy the 2 dies for the edge connections and the bottom channel.
Right.
And the first runs of that, and our press, that because this is pressed together, a cold press that we and it's glued, and it's together, and it'll last forever. So you can take it apart and reuse it. It won't fill up the landfill.
Interesting.
Drywall. Right. When you want to renovate, knock it all down.
Take it with you. Interesting.
Take it with you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm instead of putting it on a trailer, you can flat pack this stuff, and flat pack it. Actually, we did 3D printing to test the connection device, and then we made a life-size one out of wood to test the connection. So we've done a lot of R&D and testing over the years, and I've been at this for 6 years.
So I'm curious, I'm speaking the Okanagan itself and parts of Canada, obviously, climate conditions, hot in the summer, cold in the winter. How does the product stand up to that? Is the insulation enough? Like that's enough to have, or do you have to have anything additional?
Well, the R factor, we used EPS, expand polystyrene. I talked to President Plasfab, which is what they use now, is 4 or 5 per inch. So you can have R1 and 2 inches. But our consultant, and we've had various different consultant engineering companies over the years, he said, I can get you R20 in 2 inches.
Wow.
Now we have 4-inch wide houses, 4 by, because you need 4 inches of insulation. Well, up north where you really need R20, you can use nanogels or whatever, aerogels, whatever they're called. But this recycled plastic that's extruded it's recycled plastic, and it's around the world. And Armacell has 27 factories around the world making PET. And we've talked to a few companies that use this already, and yeah, it'll work.
Interesting.
So yeah, recycled plastic. This is extruded, but they do a cross weld.
Right.
It's stronger, and I think it's at least R10, probably higher in 2 inches. And 2 inches uses less material than 4 inches, obviously.
Interesting. You know, it's curious. I'm taking an idea and actually bringing it to life is not easy. Like some people say, I have this great idea, and then you never do anything with it. But you've actually taken it to the end. And I'm curious, as people are listening, like what are some of the key challenges you faced bringing it to market? And just, I'm sure there's many, but if you can highlight a few, if someone's listening and going, that's a great idea, and we'll talk about how they can learn more. But from an entrepreneur point of view, like what are some of the challenges you face that really highlight for you?
Challenges are, I've had so many
Too
challenges.
many.
Well, the first challenge is, not first, SHRED, Scientific Research and Development Tax. There's tons of companies that would like to do it for you, and they'll take 30%. Well, I'm a chartered accountant, and I buckled down and I read the Act, and I figured out, and I filed my first SHRED in 2017. And in 2018, they audited me, and they said, yes, you're advancing science and technology. You do qualify for SHRED. It's a refundable incentive tax credit. So I file my own tax returns, and then someone would love to file it for me, and they'll take 30%, which would be, I don't know, a couple $100,000. Same with a patent. You could go to a patent lawyer, and the bills will add up, and they'll bill you every month. I filed my own patent. I represented myself. And the USPTO is awesome. They like what they call us. Anyway, they will talk to you. You call up and ask them. And I read everything I needed. Did webinars, so many webinars. On how to file your own patents, how to write your own claims, and on the drawings, the specifications, and to work my way through the paper system. Because sure, you can pay a lawyer to do that, a law firm, but then that's a couple $100,000. And so the patent got issued, and so there's been a lot of challenges. And I started this company. I still do payroll. Doing payroll on Saturday. I sold my own personal house, and I moved into my rental house, and I'm into this for $1.5 million. And so startup capital, I know there's a lot of angel investors out there, but I did not want an angel investor. And the good thing I did that because of COVID, because they want a return on their money right away. That's not going to happen. Now we're getting to the point where there'll be return, and but guess what? There's no angel investors.
Interesting. So I'm curious, where do you see, like, what's the future for you? Like, where if you kind of have a crystal ball, look 5 years from now, where do you want to be as a company? Like, what's your? I mean, I think part of it sounds like your why in this is just helping people get a home, like eventually, like, because you can't afford homes right now for most young people that are coming up. And I'm assuming that's sort of your angle, but where do you see 5-10 years down the road? Like, what's your vision? What's success to you? What does that look like?
Well, my vision is, this is like an insurance company's dream. It can get, it's not like drywall where, we're facing climate change, and there's a lot of companies who've tried, and we've talked to Scott Jenkins, who started that has to do with CO2 board, but that's heavy and requires heavy equipment, and that's only good for big projects. So I guess where I want to see it is, I want it to be accepted into building codes, and we have to start with countries that don't have as building codes like Canada does or BC does. And start there, because right now they're living in paper. And cardboard. definitely a step up, but they have monsoons, and so it has to be
Yeah.
waterproof. And then anchoring system, it has to be windproof, so you can
Right.
anchor the base and then put it on. And then it has to be movable
Yeah.
because they move up the hill to
Yeah.
avoid the flood.
Yeah.
Or take it with them, flat pack it and take it with them. So there's a lot of challenges ahead, but I see a need for a better way to build.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
Darren wants it to be like make building fun again. It's like
Yeah.
Lego for apples.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's hilarious.
Yeah, because building is not right now. You have to
No.
get a contractor in
Mm-hmm.
6 months to a year and tons of money. And it'll fill up a landfill, and it's wasteful. This way, it's the ultimate. It's made with recycled plastic inside, and you reuse it, repurpose it.
Interesting. Huh. So, Patricia, if someone's listening and wants to learn more, has questions we probably maybe haven't covered, what's the best way for them to reach out to someone or learn more?
Well, they can call me directly, 250-317-7339. They can go to the website. I think the best way to learn is the website.
Yeah, lots of good stuff there. Yeah.
Flexstructure.com, and it's singular, flexstructure.com.
Okay.
And Darren is my media manager, and he keeps the website up to date and does all the, I've learned, I taught myself how to do that. I have my own YouTube channel because anyway, so I've done some of the videos, but Darren does some, and so it's worked out really well. And that would probably be the way to start. We're at the early stage investors, because obviously with more money, then you can go further.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's no end of it. I like the business plan because I never want to own a manufacturing company myself.
Right.
I want to license the system that we've developed around the world. To manufacturers around the world to add an extra line away to make these panels, and even Pultruders, the design. Our Pultruder in Gimli, Winnipeg is in the middle of Canada, which is good. We have our dies, and they can do 100,000 linear feet, which will make 300, 100 square foot buildings, like a lot of volume.
Yeah.
On these dies, and so that's where the mass manufacturing comes in. Interesting.
Well, amazing. Patricia, thank you so much for talking today. It was such an interesting, I learned so much, and enjoyed talking about sort of your journey. And I know it's not easy. Like I said, a lot of people have great ideas, but few actually take the leap and actually bring it into reality, because it's not easy. Like you said, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time. But congratulations, because it seems like you've really you've taken it to a certain point where now it's ready to get into market, and you're helping somewhere where I think is needed in Canada and elsewhere. Like housing has become unaffordable for people, and there has to be a solution. So hopefully this can help. So
it will help, but we have a long road ahead, which is good in a way. It protects us from something that I agree. Fiberglass. Okay, fiberglass. And you can go on our website, and I've done investor presentations. Used forever. Every public building you go into has fiberglass.
Right.
You don't sleep in that.
Yeah.
So it depends on the use.
Yeah.
If you use it as a public building, it can be fiberglass, wood, whatever. But if you want to sleep in it, use it as a house, it has to be drywall. Or cement. And guess what? Steel takes tons of electricity. Aluminum, 10 times as much electricity as steel.
Right.
So we need to come up with, I know these forest fires, wood.
Yeah.
We live in BC where there's tons of wood, trees. On the outside. But these trees used to be massive, and I've read tons on golden spruce, and shout out to Suzanne Simard, who's still teaching at UBC in Vancouver. She wrote her book, Search for the Mother Tree, the Wood Wide Web, and we used to have big, huge trees that'll take thousands of years to grow that big,
Right.
and not 50 to 100.
No.
So we need something that'll last 50 to 100
and
years.
sustainable. Yeah.
Sustainable. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Patricia, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Love the discussion. We'll put links in the article too. People want to learn more. They can go to your website and reach out to you with any questions. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Rob.
Have a great rest of your day, everyone. And thank you for tuning into Business Matters. Thank you, Patricia.
Okay, bye.
We would like to thank your sponsor, Valley First, a division of First West Credit Union and a member-owned financial cooperative serving the Okanagan, Similkameen, and Thompson regions. They offer a wide range of banking and investment services for individuals and families. Valley First also has a talented business and commercial team to provide the expertise, products, and services local businesses need to grow and thrive.